Nigerians woke up with a shock that petrol pump price has gone up from 195 naira per litre to between 500 to 540 per litre across Nigeria. The fuel pump price surged by an average of about 200% following President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's subsidy removal announced during his inaugural speech on May 29, 2023. According to the news from the national dailies, there are still speculations that petrol pump price may go up as high as 700 naira in parts of the country beginning from July 1. This has also created panic among Nigerians, resulting to long queues and panic buying in most filling stations in the FCT. Analysts are of the view that further hike in petrol price will worsen the country's cost of living as households struggle to keep up with the rising cost of goods and services. Although President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has promised to rechannel the funds recoverable from subsidy into better investment in public infrastructure, education, healthcare, and jobs that will materially improve the lives of millions of Nigerians. Independent petroleum marketers are, however, cautioning Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and NNPCL that further increase in petrol price would not favor the market. This evening, we shall be discussing the possible plan to increase pump price of petrol, its attendant consequences on average Nigerian household at the microeconomic level. This is Nigeria Today. I'm Eukaria Clinton. Welcome. Joining me via Zoom is Mike Osati, National Controller Operations Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, IPMAN. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening.
You're welcome to Nigeria Today. Also through Zoom is another gentleman and a regular face on this program is Jide Ojo, a public affairs analyst. Good to have you on Nigeria Today.
Good evening, Eukaria. Good evening, Nigerians. Good evening, Africa. It's a pleasure to be on the platform this evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. Mr. Mike, I'll start with you. Why are we having the queues again, resurfacing again? Just recently, on the 29th of May, the subsidy removal was announced. Suddenly, prices increased from 195, to 537 here in Abuja. So what is going on right now? What's the situation?
Yeah, I'm in Lagos, and there's no queue yet in Lagos. But I don't know if there's queue in Abuja. But that's very unusual because I'm based on NPC. The stock we have is supposed to take us about 40 days after the regulation. So if there's going to be any queue at all, maybe it should be anything from middle of July. If there's no import to make up any shortfall, or if the marketer refuses to import based on so many factors. But in Lagos, there's no queue yet, and there's no queue in so many parts of the country so far.
So still on you, Mike. In one of the dailies, it was cited that you were citing the possible increase in the fuel price. Can you tell us more on that? If that is really, if you said something like that, and what's brought about it?
Yeah, it's true. I said it. And I'm very factual to Nigerians. What we are selling now are old stock before the regulation. And I can tell Nigerians today that nobody has imported liter of fuel to Nigeria. To Nigeria today. People are just being given import permit, and people are looking for forex to import. What we are consuming now or selling is the old stock that NPC who has been a monopolistic importer and distributor of fuel, has been giving us since they regulated. And definitely the stock will get exhausted by middle of July, and new imports will come to arrive the country based on the new regime. New regime in terms of foreign exchange now being sourced at $7.70 to $1, and crude price being at $70 to a barrel. And if you put that one into the template, it's going to be about 600 naira per liter in Lagos 610, 615. By the time it go to middle belt up north, in fact, middle belt can be about 650, and up north can be about 700 naira per liter. And I start to be corrected by anybody who want to query or question my statement. This is not a matter of speculative. Speculation. People who have benefited from PFI before, subsidy regime, they are no more enjoying it, so they can make any statement about speculation. But right now, the government has done the right thing, and I can read that they say last 1 month, government has saved close to about 400 billion within a month. That's on subsidy. But in talk of foreign exchange, also they have saved another so many billions. So in a month, we can get about 2 trillion saving per month from this scam that has been happening for decades. So I'm talking also, but depending on the crude price, if the crude price remain at 70 and foreign exchange remain at 770, I start by my statement, and anybody can come and change me.
Okay, we'll get back to you, Mr. Mike. Mr. Jide, you've heard all that. What's your take on this whole issue? Because we are still grappling with the fact that the increase from 195 to 537, and now the speculation, he just said, is not speculation, that is according to him, he has his facts. So Mr. Jide, what's your take on all this issue?
Thank you, Ikeria. Again, we are back to that era of uncertainty, and this is about bad planning. It's about bad planning because we left a lot of things unattended to. When Buhari signed the Petroleum Industry Act in August of 2021 and deferred the removal of fuel subsidy by 18 months, that 18 months should have been used to adequately prepare for a time like this. I really do not understand why we are still talking about sourcing forex to import fuel in order to make sure that there is no shortage in country. Unless we have been hoaxed by Dangote refinery. When it was commissioned late May, what we were told is that Dangote will start to produce by end of July or first week in August. If that is true, and by tomorrow we will enter the month of July, and from what Mr. Mike Osaturi said, NNPC also told us that they have a stock for 40 days. So if they have stock for 40 days, and that 40 days should take us to the middle of July, and we are told that smuggling across the borders has also reduced, that our fuel consumption has now reduced from 66 million liters per day to 40 million liters per day. So if all of this were true, If the initial budget of NNPCL is that we are consuming 66 million, and now that subsidy has been removed, we are now being told that demand has fallen to 40 million, and we are told that Dangote refinery should start producing by end of July. Then why are we still waiting for import license to ensure that there is no shortage in fuel across the country? As NNPCL also stopped importation, as to wait on independent or major marketers to import this product, what is the state of turnaround maintenance in Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries? This is why Nigerians are very cynical about our leaders. When they tell you something, you need to go and cross-check and fact-check because they're not truthful. Like I said, if there had been proper planning and we spent the 18 months from the time Petroleum Industry Act was signed, we have spent that 18 months productively planning for this period that we know, and Nigerians were told that 3.36 trillion had been budgeted for fuel subsidy for 2023. And that's for 6 months. We are told for 6 months. So the 6 months has not even elapsed before the subsidy was removed on May 29 or 30th. We've started buying fuel for 550, 540. So that 1 month, what happens to that saving? And then why are the palliatives not have been rolled out, at least in the interim? We ought to have seen some of this. That's also part of the bad planning, because the government that has 18 months to plan the removal of fuel subsidy should have also have its eyes on how to mitigate the impact. We know this is not the first time we've been removing subsidy. They should have planned the palliatives so that within 1 week of this announcement, those palliatives kicks in and people will not feel the pinch the way they are feeling it. Quite unfortunately, we just celebrated Salah. Now, if tomorrow we start to buy a liter of fuel for 700 naira or 750 naira per liter, you can just imagine the hardship this will further put on average Nigerians. And this might push Nigerians to protest across the country. So if the government of Tinubu does not want another EndSARS protest on his hand, they should use this weekend to start mitigating factors, things that can immediately. I'm not saying that they should bring back the fuel subsidy. I am in complete agreement with Mr. Mike Oshatui that subsidy regime should have gone long time ago. But the aftershock, the ripple effect, we should have planned for it in such a way that it will have been seamless. There should have been no disruption in the flow of availability of this premium motor spirit. And we should have also imported sufficient quantity to enable us not to witness any shortfall or shortage.
Okay, thank you so much, Jide. Here we'll take a break now and hear from a cross-section of Nigerians on the topic of discourse as put together by a correspondent, Thomas Ogbetere. Don't go away.
Let's assume my salary now is 50,000. How am I going to cope? I will be like my friend and my man. I have to carry them come to town every day. I used to carry them come to town every day. If I buy fare 7,000, you can't take me out through and fro. Through and fro 7,000. How much will be my salary?
So by the time you increase it further, how do you expect the common man to survive? Okay, if somebody is going to work and is earning 40, 50,000, and the person is going to work every day, okay, from places like Nyanya, in Maraba, you pay 500, 600 to work. Coming back, the same amount feeding. That means every day the person have to spend 2,000.
Nigeria, we are suffering. Please, government should help us and do something about this.
Nigeria should endure that there are better days ahead. So I don't think there should be any increment. But you know, Nigeria is a funny country. We may be saying that they will increase and they will do that. Well, what can Nigeria do? Even the labor cannot protest.
The bridge. So there's nothing like panic buying here. That's the fact. Everybody had it on the paper today when they say they have saved over 400 billion. That starting from as people that they gave license started bringing their fuel in because of the landing costs, fuel in the upper north. We are in Abuja is part of the upper north that will be buying 700, while Lagos will be selling at 600. Is that a rumor? That's not rumor.
The only reason we are all queuing here is because if you see a queue, you think maybe there's going to be scarcity, and then you just join the queue. You can call it panic buying. But frankly speaking, petrol is deregulated now, so there's no question of somebody increasing price or what. What you buy is what you get. I mean, if the price is going to increase tomorrow, it's going to increase. There's nothing anybody can do about it. It's the spot market price, and that's what we pay. So it's not NNPC that is telling us how much we must buy petrol now. It's how much the landing cost and all that. So it might go up, it might come down, depending on how much it costs, before it gets to Nigeria.
Welcome back. This is still Nigeria Today, and my guests are still with me, Mr. Jide Ojo and Mr. Mike Osatu. Now, Mike, back to you. Earlier, you said what they are selling right now is old stock. But I was wondering if it's old stock, which of course means it was subsidized. If it's old stock, why the initial increase? Because of course we believe that since it was subsidized, it should have been the old price. That right now, if you are telling us that it will be increased, so we'll understand. Okay, this one is no longer with the subsidy. So why the initial increase?
Yeah, thank you. You know, there's something they call replenishment costs. That kind of thing. If you have to go and back to the market now, you have to pay about times 3 to get your stock back. And that is why there is now an increase. And let me tell you, when the price was, when the market was regulated, NPC itself, which is more or less government, increased their price to marketers. And we had asked to put in about 130 million to 8 million we have paid before, or 7 million for us to lift a truck, which goes to about 23 million to lift a truck. And where are we going to see this money? People who have stock have to sell the new price so that they can make up. Even with that, my members now who can participate in this new regime, they have reduced prices about 20%. So we too in Ipan were in a crisis. But that be as it may, we are going to get it harder. But for the country to benefit, I think we have to take the pain so that we are going to get the full benefit for the country. But that be as it may, if we are getting about 2 trillion income for the government, Nigerian, then how do government want to use this money to mitigate the suffering of Nigerians? That's the question. That if before you are getting about 1 trillion, you're not getting another 2 trillion extra because you have already removed the arbitrage in foreign exchange, you have removed the subsidy. How do we now use that money to bring succor and palliative to the masses so that this effect of increase in price not effect? That is just the question that the correct government must answer Nigerians. And you see, if we are feeding the money country for years, for decades, it's unhealthy for Nigerians. And if we are projecting income of 10 trillion per year as a nation, and we're spending 20 trillion per year as expenses, borrowing 7 trillion to feed subsidy every year, I think is really criminal. It's criminal. We are spending about 5 trillion to service, debt service. So I've never seen a country where you spend more than your income, even if you are borrowing and you are investing it on productive facilities. That's even better. But you are borrowing to finance expenses. It's hard anywhere in the whole world. But we have to thank the government that is on board now, that they have the courage to remove the subsidy. Back to my friend that said that they provide subsidy due ending. Now, yes, it's a budget. Must you spend budget? No. It's budget. You may not spend your budget. So, and if President who has waited or announced that 1st July there will be the review of subsidy, throughout the month of June there will be crisis. People will be stockpiling both in the homes, in the institutions, in town farm. So the whole of June could be in crisis because people want to take advantage. But yes, he just announced it. Some people have stock, yes, some people don't have, and that is how it is. Even if Nigerian fuel can go as far as Sudan, at the coast.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mike. Mr. Jide, we appear to be moving in circles. What is the long-term or the short-term solution to this, recurring decimal? The way forward.
Well, for me, again, I go back to lack of proper planning that has led us into this challenge. We are talking CNG, compressed natural gas, for some vehicles. These are vehicles that should have been imported while we are preparing to exit this subsidy regime. For instance, if every state has 100 of such buses of compressed natural gas, and we all know that domestic gas or cooking gas the price has come down, and that is what the masses plies. This should have been imported. There should have been, negotiation with the trade unions, transport unions, to also convert some of their vehicles to compressed natural gas. We are talking of electric vehicles. These are things that in the preparation for the exit of subsidy should have been prioritized. Now we are playing catch up, but we are in it. The bottom line now is Dangote going to start working by the end of the month of July, or is that a hoax? Are we going to have our refineries fixed with all the $2.9 billion that was borrowed from China to fix them? Are we going to see them producing? Because now our PMS is subjected to fluctuation in the price of crude oil in the international market. This should not have been the situation if the refineries are working. This should not have been the situation if the electricity situation has significantly improved and people don't have to buy fuel for their generators and all of that. This will have also been mitigated if the CNG buses and vehicles have been deployed en masse to the streets to commute people at a very cheap rate, in which case people will not have to pay so much to commute around towns and cities. But this was left for too long. It's only Lagos that I learned and went into a deal with Mobi producing, or is it Ohando, to that they are going to, they have imported 100 vehicles using CNG, compressed natural gas.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jide. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. And one last question, Mr. Mike. Is the price going to increase, the petrol price going to increase tomorrow, being 1st of July? Is it increasing 1st of July?
The price not increase tomorrow. That's not, I think, Edman is being misquoted. there's no any increase in price tomorrow. But what we are saying, that for the new imports, based on the new regime, before the end of July, we will have increase in price. But at the same time, if the crude come down, and if the foreign exchange come to about 500 to $1, yeah, we are going to have a decrease in price or pump price. Is a function of crude price and exchange rate to $1. It's like if you are.
Thank you so much. Well, that's it on Nigeria Today. But first, a big thank you to our guest, Jide Ojo, a public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
My pleasure.
And also, Mr. Mike Osatuyi, National Controller Operations, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, IPMAN. Thank you so much for your contribution and your time. And to our viewer, thank you so much for being a part of this. I am Eukaria Clinton. Bye-bye.